It is said that there was once a chaste queen whose husband had been slain in a battle. She was pregnant for about 9 months. At that time, her friends and relatives were going on a pilgrimage to Sri Jagannath Puri, and she decided to accompany them. So, leaving behind all hesitations, she set off along with them. On her way, in the middle of a jungle, she gave birth to a beautiful baby boy. Seeing no other option, as things were getting delayed, the queen left behind her newborn in the jungle and continued with the journey to Puri. At that time, Sri Madana Mohana protected the lone child and arranged for honey drops to trickle into his mouth from the adjoining trees. This ensured that the child did not starve. The next morning, a Bagdi tribal girl, while she was collecting the wood, saw this little baby lying hidden within the bushes. She felt compassionate and immediately raised the boy in her arms and took him to the house of a Brahmana. She disclosed to the Brahmana how she had found the baby in the woods and requested him to take care of this boy. In course of time, this little boy grew up and started living happily with the Brahmanas. Once this boy went into the jungle to tend his cows but did not return. The Brahmana father, growing anxious, then entered the jungle searching for the boy. But to his surprise, he saw the boy sleeping peacefully under a tree, being protected by 2 snakes who were raising their hoods to block the sunlight from falling upon his face. The snakes fled upon seeing the Brahmana. The Brahmana realized that this boy was not an ordinary personality. When the monsoon approached, the boy once went to a nearby river for fishing. But his fishing net, instead of capturing fishes, captured golden bricks from the water. On a second attempt, auspicious tulsi and chandana were recovered from the fishing net. When he laid his net for a third time, the boy recovered conch shell, bells, candles, etc., paraphernalia to worship the deity. On the fourth occasion, the fishing net captured whom? Sri Madana Mohana deity from the river waters. Sri Madana Mohana instructed the boy to install him in the Brahmana's house daily worship him with all the paraphernalia he recovered, like tulsi and chandan. The boy then prayed to Sri Madana Mohana Jio to bestow upon him his causeless mercy and seeked shelter of his lotus feet. The boy went on to become the first king of the Malla dynasty. So this is the Malla dynasty. That is the first king of this place, and became renowned as the Adi Malla. The descendants of his foster parents and Brahmins continued to engage in the worship of Sri Madana Mohana till this day, both in Bishnupur as well as in Bag Bazar. These Brahmins initially had the surnames Goshal, and the king subsequently honored them with the title Pujari. Now there is a story of a very unusual Leela the deity here performed. In due course of time, Sri Madana Mohana mercifully allowed himself to be worshipped by the Malla kings. The present temple of Sri Radha Madan Mohana in Bishnupur was built by King Durjan Singh, the 55th Malla king. Sri Gopal Singh was extremely pious and devoted to the Lord. Day and night he immersed himself in singing and chanting the glories of his Ishtadeva, Sri Madan Mohana. The cult of Vaishnavism was introduced in Bishnupur during the era of King Bir Hambir was carried forward by Sri Gopal Singh. So this is what we're talking is after the period of Srinivasacharya and King Bir Hambir. There was this great king called Gopal Singh. Sometimes he even participated in the Harinama Sankirtana processions and went around the city. The sound of the mridanga and kartals enraptured the sky. It was during this ideal rule of King Gopal Singh that it was made compulsory for all the citizens in Bishnupur to chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra every evening and complete their stipulated rounds before going to bed. Thus, all the citizens participated in the Harinama Sankirtana movement of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu during the era of Sri Gopal Singh. Such is the rare glory of Bishnupur. Drawn to its wealth and prosperity, 50,000 Maratha soldiers once attacked the town of Bishnupur. These Marathas were referred to as Bargi in common dialect and were known to be exceedingly ferocious, who did not spare even children and women to achieve their ends. They looted wealth, killed people, but king, and before departing, burned down the entire villages. So when these Marathas surrounded Bishnupur, the citizens became very nervous. But King Gopal Singh, instead of preparing to retaliate, decided to take complete shelter of his beloved Madana Mohana. He led a tumultuous Harinama Sankirtana party that traversed the entire city and filled its land and sky with the auspicious vibrations of the holy name. He asked his soldiers to seek the shelter of the Lord and pray for protection. Not all were convinced with his actions though. Towards the end of the night, frightening sounds of cannons were heard. These cannons destroyed the entire army of the Marathas, and the dreaded Bargi leaders almost died in the fight. Suffering a heavy defeat, the Bargis retreated. These cannons, locally referred to as Dalmadal, were built several years ago by King Birhambir, and that night they indeed served its purpose. But no one had a clue who was firing these cannons. The next morning, while victory was being celebrated, the king inquired of the brave fighters. The soldiers denied to have fired the cannons and confessed that it was humanly impossible to fire so many shots from these handful granites in such quick succession. In fact, this cannon is still kept. We will be seeing it when we go to the next location. It's a huge cannon made of iron. Nobody can lift it, nobody can turn it, and to successively fire cannons in all directions, 360 degrees, is impossible. One of the soldiers then recounted a hair-raising incident. He recollected that while he was guarding the fort the previous night, he saw a young boy wearing a blue apparel came out of the city riding on a white horse. The whole atmosphere was surcharged with pleasant fragrance, and the effulgence of his body illuminated the surroundings. The guard said that he had fainted on seeing his enchanting beauty. He regained his senses upon hearing the loud shots of the cannon and observed dead and fleeing Maratha warriors all around. But in spite of searching, he could not find the young boy again. While the king was thus conversing with the soldiers, a milkman came rushing. He informed of a young boy wearing blue garments who had stopped the milkman on his way and had eaten all the curds that he was bringing for the king. The boy had a bright smile on his face and identified himself as king's son. As a proof, the boy had also handed over his bracelet to the milkman, which he had asked to be shown to his father so that the king could pay him the required money. The milkman added that the boy had claimed to be very tired fighting the Marathas all night and needed something cool to eat. The boy had marks of explosives all over his beautiful body. Sri Gopal Singh began shedding tears of joy. He understood who that small boy was. He was none other than his beloved Madana Mohana, Shri Radha Madana Mohana ki, who had mercifully responded to his prayers of his devotees and had protected them from grave dangers. In fact, this kingdom of Birhambir was never attacked by anybody, even the Mughals. It was the Pathans who were fighting here, and the Mughals wanted to fight the Pathans. They were enemies. So these kings of this place used to help the Mughals in fighting the Pathans. So if you see the architecture here, many of the architecture, even though terracotta, are not so much destroyed. So many such palaces and temples you can see around this place, untouched by the Mughals. On opening the temple gate, Sri Madana Mohana was found standing with his blue garments completely drenched in perspiration. The marks of explosives was as if decorated his enchanting form, and his bracelet was missing from his right hand. Being entranced, the king fainted in ecstasy. Okay, so Sri Madan Mohan arrives at Bhagbasar, Calcutta. Once the kingdom of Mallabham entered a severe financial crisis, this kingdom. Knowing that the king was in desperate need of money, Sri Madan Mohan appeared to him in a dream and asked him to keep him as mortgage in the house of Sri Gokul Mitra, a wealthy businessman, a resident of Bhagbasar in Kolkata. Accordingly, in the month of Baishakh, the king mortgaged Sri Madan Mohan to Sri Gokul Mitra and in return received a sum of 3 lakh rupees. This is how Sri Madan Mohan arrived at Calcutta. Gokul Mitra had a servant named Madan. Once while Madan was away, Sri Madan Mohan came in disguise of his servant and handed over the tobacco pipe of Gokul Mitra, who was searching for it. On consuming the tobacco, Gokul Mitra understood that the consumed tobacco was not of Calcutta, but instead belonged to Bishnupur. Being amazed, he inquired from his servant from where had he obtained it. But his servant was nowhere to be found. Then, while serving Sri Madan Mohana, the Brahmin priest observed marks of tobacco in the hands which did not go away in spite of his repeated efforts. Being discouraged, the priest informed Gokul what he had observed, who then understood that it was none but Sri Madan Mohan who had himself taken the pains to arrange for his tobacco. An ecstatic Gokul Mitra then proclaimed that anyone in his family who would henceforward consume tobacco would incur the equivalent sin of killing a woman or a Brahmana. Meanwhile, the residents of Bishnupur lived in an intense separation from their beloved Lord. The whole kingdom mourned in his absence. The king, the queen, the priest, the citizens all cried piteously. The bricks fell off from the temples. Even the animals as if gave up their food and lived in utter grief. Then one day, the queen got an idea. She informed the king of her desire to sell off her beautiful golden necklace and repay in full the debt and interest that was incurred by the king. In this way, she arranged to pay off the mortgage and bring Sri Madan Mohan back to Bishnupur. Arranging the money, the king arrived at Bagbazar to reclaim his beloved Madan Mohan Jio. However, Gokul Mitra, who had become exceedingly attached to the deity, resorted to trickery in order to deny the king his rightful. He then lied that the king had not mortgaged but actually had sold Sri Madan Mohan Jio to him. In order to support his logic, Gokul Mitra produced false agreement papers, seeing which the king broke down in grief. Being dejected and crying profusely, the king left for Bishnupur. On his way back, Sri Madan Mohan Jio gave him his blissful darshan and revealed to him that Gokul Mitra had actually forged the papers. He ordered him to immediately file a case in the Alipur court. Sounds very familiar. And assured the king that he himself would fight the case on his behalf. The king did as instructed. Sri Madan Mohan Jio appeared as a lawyer named Madana in the Alipur court. He identified himself as a lawyer from Bishnupur. Sri Madana, lawyer, fought superbly and subsequently won the case for the king. As a result, the king and the citizens of Bishnupur regained their right to get back their beloved Madan Mohan again. Gokul Mitra tried one last trick. Under his order, an exact replica of Sri Madan Mohan Ji was created from Kumar Tuli. And on losing the case, he tried to hand over this duplicate deity to the king. However, again due to Sri Madana Mohana's timely intervention, the king was able to correctly recognize his eternal master. Before leaving Bagbazar, Sri Madan Mohan Ji promised the heartbroken Gokul Mitra that he would appear in his house every year during the Annakut festival, and he could serve him to his heart's content at that time. The replica deity of Sri Madan Mohan Ji is served till this day at Bagbazar, at Gokul Mitra's residence. The locality became subsequently renowned as Madana Mohana Tala. Sri Madan Mohan Ji thus returned once again to his eternal home at Bishnupur, where he is diligently served till this day. So court cases are common for deities and temples. Nothing to worry. Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan Ke Gaur Premanande Srila Prabhupada Ki